I just want to take a moment to introduce our guest speaker for the day. We are so blessed and excited to have her here. Her name is Tamara Smiley Hamilton, M.A., and she is here to speak to us on the topic of firework, getting away to make a difference. Tamara is a graduate of the Annenberg School of Communication at the University of Southern California. She spent most of her professional career with the National Education Association, developing national training programs for 2,500 field staff who worked in 14,000 scholarship districts that served 3 million NEA members. That's a lot of people, Miss. That's a whole lot of people. Tamara also helps develop teams and organizations. She talks to them about race and micro inequities in a safe environment to help the hearts connect. That's beautiful. Her signature keynote is Bridging Troubled Waters to talk about race and differences. Most recently, she presented professional development workshops for the Department of Education and the Department of Energy. Coming to us to speak on firework, getting away to make a difference, Miss Tamara Smiley Hamilton!
I want you to think about oh, yes.
I'll cue that video.
Oh no, I don't need this. I have a lav on. Thank you. All right. How many of you have had wise women in your life? Raise your hand. Okay, that's everybody in the room, including the man at the back. Wise women in your life. I had a very wise mother, and my mother told me, Tamara, don't worry about what you're going to be when you grow up. That's not the point. She said, just be a firework. A firework? At that time, I only had the little bitty sparklers. So when she said be a firework, it confused me. But as I moved on in life, I really understood, because what my mother really meant was, when you walk into a room, light it up. When you walk into someone's life, set them on fire. When you walk into any situation, have grace under pressure, but leave a lasting impression. My mother said all young ladies should strive to be a firework. It doesn't mean you have to be a big boom explosion, but when you come in, people will remember that you were there. When I finally went back to her and I said, well, let's talk about that firework thing. Why did you tell me that all those years ago? And my mother said, because there's a lot of dullness in this world. There are a lot of dark spaces in this world. There are lots of dark corners, and everybody is just looking for a light. So bring the light. You can bring it with your career. You can bring it with your knowledge. You can bring it with your personality. But most of all, bring it with your heart. But Tamara, if you're going to be a firework, and I say this to the federally employed women, if you're going to be a firework, then you have to take a risk. You have to get up out of your comfort zone. You can't play it safe. And I'm going to tell you a couple of examples of when I got way out of my comfort zone on my journey to trying to be a firework. It started when I was in elementary school, and I wanted a hula hoop. My Saturday morning cartoons were interrupted when the announcer came on the television and said, be the first on your block. Be the first on your block to have a hula hoop by Whammo. I said, well, I have to be the first on my block. I can't let bow-legged Shirley be the first one on the block. Oh, no, I have to have this hula hoop. So I got my hula hoop, and I tried it, and it didn't work. I put it around me, and I tried it, and it didn't work. And my mother gave me another lesson. She said, anything you want to do well, you've got to practice, practice, practice. Ivana, come on up. I found someone among this group who has the courage to be a firework this morning. Because when she finishes, you know her now.
Girl.
But you're really going to know her. Miss Ivana, be my guest. Let's give her a hand. All right, all right. Thank you so much. Oh, you are real good. I could take her on the road with me.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
Okay, let's give her a round of applause. I keep this hula hoop with me. And I keep this hula hoop with me because it reminds me that I have to keep practicing. If I want to do anything well, I have to practice. Well, sometimes I could be a slow learner. Because a few years ago, I decided I'm going to make my dream come true. I'm going to live out a fantasy that I'd had for years. I decided I was going to let my Beyonce out. She had been locked in too long. I had retired after 30 years. 30 years of work, 30 years of workplace drama, 30 years of And I said, all right. My husband said, where should we go for this momentous occasion? I said, let's go to Jamaica. And that's the perfect place to be who? Beyonce. We arrived at Couples Swept Away. The water was beautiful. When you got out of the car, they met you with a glass of champagne and a fan. And I saw a photographer the very first day. And I said to him, I have a dream that I want to come true. Can you help me? Of course. That's what I'm here for. I said, I want a Beyonce moment. I want a Beyonce moment at sunset on the beach, by the water, in the sand. I said, but you can't make me look fat. He said, oh, that's no problem. I've had experience filming women like you. Women like me? What does that mean? He said, well, you know, women who are gifted with a few extra curves, very beautiful women, but you're carrying a little more gifts than normal. I said, okay, you're hired. He told me, be on the beach at 5 o'clock when the sun is going down and it looks like it's getting ready to kiss the water. I said, okay. I got on my traditional one-piece, age-appropriate bathing suit, and I put on a beautiful sarong, and I walked with confidence down to the beach because this was it. 30 years of working, knowing that on Monday morning when I woke up, I would wake up to the Caribbean Sea. So I walked down with confidence, and there he was, waiting for me. There was only one problem. There were 100 extra people on the beach, 100 extra people who would be watching me. And I heard my mother's voice saying, they don't know you. They don't know you. Girl, get out there and be Beyonce. That's how I raised you. So I straightened up and I walked out to the beach. And he said, oh, Tamara, just need the sun to come down just a little bit more. We've got a few more minutes. And as he said that, my heart was boing, boing, right to the margarita bar. So I said, oh, I'll just wait over here. So I sat there all nervous, and I said, I'll have a margarita, please. Bloop, 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 bloop. I had my margarita. I was really ready to be Beyonce on the beach. I had a different walk. I had a different strut. I was just so ready. It didn't matter that there were 200 extra eyes on me. He said, Tamara, it's not quite there yet. just a few more minutes. That's okay with me. Back to the margarita bar. I'll have a margarita, Cadillac, Grand Marnier. Look, look, look. I drunk it down. Woo, I'm really ready now to be Beyonce on the beach. He says, well, Tamara, I think we're ready. I said, great, I'm ready too. So I had my sarong on, and it was tied here. And he said, well, you know, turn. And I'm imagining Beyonce on all her videos, and I'm watching him. And I even had a little portable fan so my hair could blow in the wind. And so then, he says, well, Tamara, I thought you wanted a Beyonce moment. And I said, well, I do. And fireworks are going off in my head at this point. I said, I do. He said, well, drop the sarong. So I dropped the sarong, and now I'm really free. I'm doing all of this, and I'm turning. Now, remember, I do have on an age-appropriate one-piece bathing suit. Not that Beyonce yet. So I'm just twirling around, and he said, be Beyonce. I said, be Beyonce? All right, this is a risk. So I go down. I get down there. And now I'm doing all this. And then I roll over in the sand. And I roll over this way. And I got sand all over me. And I'm just Beyonce. I'm there. And then it was over. And I had to get up. I had to get up.
I understand.
I couldn't get up. 200 eyes on me as Beyonce, and I can't get up. And I said, I'm sorry, Beyonce. I'm so sorry to embarrass us this way. So the young man says, oh, madam, I'll help you up. He weighed all of 120 pounds dripping wet. So he says, I can help you. Cameras slinging all over his neck, and I'm trying to get up. And he's actually trying to hoist me up like I was a big grand piano, and it wasn't working. And just as I said, oh my God, what will I do? Will I live out here forever as Beyonce? He answered my prayers, and on the other arm, I felt someone lift me up out of the sand. It was my husband, who had been watching all the time from the margarita bar. But ladies, the message here, you gotta take a risk to be a firework. We can't be dull. Can we be quiet? We have to speak up. We never know when it's our voice that the world is waiting for. And I give you this funny story to say, each and every person sitting here is what? Unique and wonderfully made. So federally employed women, my message to you, you are unique and wonderfully made. Let me hear you say it. I am unique. I am wonderfully made. One more time like you mean it. I am unique.
I am unique
and wonderfully.
and wonderfully made.
All right. I realize that because you had to be unique and wonderfully made to even think that you could be Beyonce on the beach and live to tell about it. But oh no, that wasn't enough. A few years later, I decide, while watching infomercials in the middle of the night, my favorite time to watch infomercials, I think I will be a licensed Zumba fitness instructor. I am now 59 years old. Those knees are more arthritic than they've ever been. I've got a few more pounds since those days on the beach. And I'm sitting there in the middle of the night, and a commercial comes on, and it says, Tamara, you too can be a licensed Zumba fitness instructor. And I said, yes, I can. I'm the firework. I can do that. Well, all you have to do is swipe your American Express card for $200 non-refundable dollars. I did it. And when the appointed day came, I remember like it was yesterday. It was August 4th. It was a Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Reston Hyatt. The night before, I go to Dick's Sporting Goods. I buy my new Zumba pants. I buy my new Zumba shirt. I buy my new Zumba shoes. I got my new Zumba bag. I'm ready. I'm equipped. I walk into the Reston Hyatt, and there are 250 other women who also thought, I too can be a licensed Zumba fitness instructor. I remember like it was yesterday. The teacher said, how many of you are already aerobic dance instructors? Half the room stood up. You know how they do. Half the room stood up. And I said, there's not a size 12 among them. How many of you are fitness instructors? The other half of the room stood up. There wasn't even a size 10 among them. So I'm sitting here trying to find my mother's encouraging voice now. Then the instructors say, how many of you had Zumba experience? Almost the whole room stood up, except me. Remember, my mother said what? If you want to be good at something, you have to practice, practice, practice. If she had just said, the instructor, how many of you are over 35? Then I could have stood up. So here I am surrounded by 249 people who are under 35 and under 125 pounds, and probably with really good knees. The music starts. First there's a cha-cha. Oh, I'd done that since I was a kid. So I cha-cha'd for 50 minutes. At the end of 50 minutes, I got on the back row. I didn't realize when you take Zumba, the rows move forward. So now I'm on like the 7th row, and we're doing the merengue. So I'm doing these dances, we're doing the cumbia, we're doing the salsa. I'm just dancing my heart out. And now I'm on the 6th row. After a few hours, I find myself on row 1. And they say, who'd like to come up and direct the class? I will. So I run up the stage, I get there, and all I have to do, if I do this way, 249 people go that way. If I do this, they go the other way. If I say turn, they all turn. I said, well, you know what? I like this. And all of a sudden it was over. I'm back at the back of the row. But now it's hour 6. We have been dancing for 6 hours with 10-minute breaks. So therefore, hour 6, here I am. Hour 6, I'm a trooper. I'm dancing up a storm. I'm just dancing, but I can't stand. I'm moving and grooving, upper body. My upper body could win a contest. And then it's time to take the group picture. The instructors come over and say, come on everybody, we're going to be on Facebook. Music to my ears. And I look down at my knees and I say, okay, ladies, do this one for the Gipper. Would you please? And my knees say, nah. We're done. First you had us on that beach a few years ago. We forgave you for that. Now you got us out here trying to be a licensed Zumba instructor with all these skinny girls in this room, and all of them dance instructor and yoga instructors and all kind of instructors. And now you want us to stand up for a Facebook picture? I don't think so. Come on. We've traveled the world together. I just need this. I just need this to show that I was here. That at 59 years old and 230 pounds, I hung with the best. I just ask you. Nah, we're not moving. So just as they're about to lower the shutter, they look over and they see me. And the two instructors, they come to me and they say, "Ma'am, do you need some help?" And I say, "I do." One gets on one side, one gets on the other side, and just like that little guy in Jamaica, and me being a beach whale on the dance floor, they hoist me up and they walk me like this. These knees are fussing, they're popping, they're creaking, they're cursing me out by now. But I don't hear them because I hear my mother's voice. "Take a risk, Tamara. Be a firework. You'll be able to laugh about this one day." I get in line, they lift me up, they count 1, 2, 3, and I take the picture. Now, I want to ask you, when have you been a firework? When have you said, "You know what? I'm taking this dream off layaway. I'm not waiting until the mortgage is paid. I'm not waiting until the kids get out of school. I'm not waiting for anything. I am going to live my dream." Raise your hand if you have a dream locked inside of you that needs to have that Beyonce moment, that needs to have that release. Don't be shy. Raise your hands. And now I want one of you to come up here. Come up here. I have a prize for you. One volunteer. One volunteer. Yes, you. Yes. My Navy veteran. Come here. Yes, I remember. Tell me your name.
Vera.
This is Vera. Vera served in our U.S. Navy. Let's give her a hand for her service. Vera, tell us about a time, or tell us what dream do you have that you're now willing to open up and go for it?
Well, can I just go back a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, when I retired from the Navy, I did almost...
Make sure this is on. Yes, go ahead.
I did 20 years, 8 months in the Navy, and I decided I wanted to do something more entrepreneurial. So I didn't go the typical route, you know, retired military, may go to the federal government or contract work. So I went into real estate for a little bit, and then, okay, that's better.
Oh.
And then I decided that, you know, it wasn't right for me, but my background in the Navy was in IT management. I didn't want to do that anymore, so I went and got my MBA using my 9/11 GI Bill. And one of the things I did when I was pursuing my next endeavor was volunteering, teaching financial literacy. Okay.
It's for the camera. Just keep going.
Oh. Teaching financial literacy, and I enjoyed it so much that I decided to go into the financial services industry as a financial advisor, and that's what I've been doing now. And one of my dreams is to eventually, I work for First Command Financial Services, but eventually I would like to be independent and have my own company. So
Okay. And so do you have a plan for that dream?
well, my plan is to continue to get as much experience as I can. I've been doing it for about 3 years now, and I figure that probably around the 10-year mark that I'll branch out and, you know, go independent.
Okay. Practice, practice, practice. Let's give her a wonderful round of applause. It takes a lot to come up here. As we're winding down, we have time for one more. You got a dream that's inside of you. You want to be a firework. You want to light up someone else's life while you're lighting up your own. You're sure? Come on, tell you're sure. It just takes a little bit of encouragement. Let's applaud for her as she approaches. I am a Toastmaster. We applaud her all the way up. Keep clapping, keep clapping. Okay, what is your name?
My name is Rhonda Dozier.
Rhonda Dozier. Rhonda, you were just smiling the whole time like you could relate to something.
I relate to a lot.
Okay, tell us, what dream are you going to let out of the closet because you're going to be a firework?
Well, I am going to be a firework. Right now, I work for a nonprofit agency, and I've been doing that for the past 25 years now. I've been a nonprofit. But my dream is to start my own event business. So what I'm looking to do is open up a full-service event service. And since my family has a lot of experience and want to back me in that, now that my daughter is off to college, I plan on doing it within the next 2 years. So.
Wonderful. Thank you. Give her a round of applause. And I do have a copy of my book called Soulquake for each one of you brave ladies. Now, as we close, the one thing I want you to remember, maybe two, a dream without a plan is just a wish. The world is looking for someone just like you. The world needs someone who can walk in a room and light it up. We never know whose heart is broken when we enter a room. We don't know who has suffered a loss when we enter a room. We don't know who is in financial despair when we enter a room. And so therefore, I urge you to enter the room with your heart leading first. Before your hair comes in, before your fine clothes or your designer bag, let your heart come in first. And then you too will be a firework. And as federally employed women, I thank you today. I thank you so much for everything that you have offered to me. And as we close, I would like to have Ivana come up. I would like to thank you, and I want you, as the coordinator of this event, or one of them on the team, tell us one thing you received from this message today.
Not to wait until your children are older. My thing is, I've got a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old, and I'm constantly thinking of college preparation. What are we going to do? Finances, save up for this, do that, and I continue to put myself on the back burner. And so to find something that I can do now, as opposed to waiting until the empty nest. Before it was, I'll wait till I'm barefoot and pregnant. Then it was, I'll wait until the kids go off to school, like elementary school. Then it just, you keep pushing things back and nothing ever happens. So thank you very much for encouraging us to be a firework now.
Thank you, thank you. And when I close, I just want to close on a high note with what we said earlier. I am unique and wonderfully made. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. I am unique and wonderfully made. Have a wonderful, icy day. Oh, this is the one not projecting. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Tamara.
Thank you so much.